What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Daves-Raves. So I placed a poll on my community tab today for y'all to vote on Elf, Tim Allen's The Santa Claus, one, and two Miracle on 34th Streets. Well, Tim Allen's Santa Claus won with 7 votes. And I'm actually pretty glad you guys did because I've been waiting to watch this movie lately. So that's, Christmas holiday. And by then, I picked this. I was like, yes, finally get to have a reason to watch The Santa Claus. And let me just say, God, it's such a good effing movie. So, a couple of details I did not catch watching it a couple times. For one, the movie takes place over 1 year. They don't really give you a clear timeline of how many months have passed or how many weeks have passed, except for one time. And I'll get into all that, but come on, you guys know how the Santa Claus movie goes. Crass douchebag Scott Calvin, aka Tim Allen, one of my favorite actors of all time. He's a divorced single dad, and he has partial custody over his son Charlie. His wife drops him off with ex-wife, Laura, is going to spend Christmas with her new husband, Neil, who happens to be a psychologist, who doesn't believe in Santa Claus. So, they're talking about how Charlie does not believe in Santa Claus because some kid bullied him, blah, 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 blah. And Scott's like, well, if anybody should have right to destroy his son's illusions, it should be both of us. And she's like, well, if you were around one, so like, why are you guys always so fighting so much? So, stop arguing. Now, in the original VHS cassette tape version, if you guys have it, then fucking kudos. Because even the copy I watched online had it scrubbed out digitally. There's a scene in the VHS tapes that I remember as a kid where Laura handed Scott a piece of paper, the phone number that could be reached. And the phone number that Scott or Tim Allen said, was 1-800-SPANK-ME. They actually had to erase that digitally because kids are calling it and it's still an active hotline. I haven't called it yet to verify, but that's what I read online. Anyways, so Scott burns a turkey. So they go to Denny's. Nice little product placement, I guess, It's an American institution. As soon as he says it, see a whole bunch of Japanese men yelling in Japanese. Because, hey, only restaurant open. The waitress is, kind of a rude bitch, honestly. Look, if you work for Denny's, okay, and you're serving Christmas stuff, first off, don't be out of the eggnog. Second off, don't be out of, what else was she out of? Hot apple pie or chocolate milk. They had nothing they wanted. I mean, sounds like my part of town. But anyways, so, they have dinner. It cuts to, Scott reading a bedtime story that I wrote before Christmas, which I actually read last year for you guys. Or was it the year before? One, two. Anywho's, reads Nightmare Before Christmas. He explains to Charlie what a rose such a clatter meant. Which, means there came a loud noise. Well, so, Charlie's finally sleeping later. And, he hears a noise on the roof. What's he do? He goes, wakes up his dad. Hey, Dad, I hear a noise on the roof. There's somebody out there. And Scott's like, Charlie, just go back to sleep. It's probably just animals or something. And then he hears a whoosh, like boom, like heavy footsteps. He's like, somebody's on the roof. And he's like, Charlie, do you know how to call 911? Yeah, 911. So he runs out in his boxers and underwear and jacket. And he sees Santa on top of the roof. And he says, hey, you! Santa is startled. He's Whoa! And he falls off the roof and into a snowbank and dies. Alright, Charlie comes out, sounding a little bit bloodthirsty. Dad, you got him! And he's like, Scott's like, that's not Santa. Charlie was like, well, he was. So, Scott's digging around looking for identification. Pulls out a card that says Santa Claus, North Pole. And on the back it says, if something should happen to me, put on the coat and suit, and the reindeer will know what to do. Sure enough, they both look up and see the reindeer in the sleigh. And a ladder just appears out of nowhere, and Scott's like, ow, what the hell did this come from? Sure enough, a Rose Such a Clatter Rose Company. Which was a clever play on words, if you ask me. So they go deliver shit. And it does not go to the first house. First house where he's dropping off some like a pair of shoes on like a toy truck. The dog comes around the corner. He's like, nice teeth. And there's a Rottweiler too, a mean looking one too. So, Tim tries to escape out the window. And then sets off the alarm. Who's down there? And he goes back up the chimney. The dog's trying to chase him up the chimney. Funny as hell. Charlie's like, what was that like? Like being on America's Most Wanted. How do we get out of here? Beep. And the reindeer go right across the street. And he's like, tonight's going to be a very long night. The next house has no chimney. So it literally sucks him down like Jell-O. And so, the rest of the night goes by and it shows Scott delivering a few more stuff, like a canoe, which he knocks over a tree with, trying to set it up against a wall. And he pulls out the orders. He's like, just like, screw it. Goes back up to the chimney, and that's like the last delivery you see him making until like the end of the movie. Such a good movie, though. So, Charlie comes back the next morning with Scott after they get back to the North Pole. Laura picks him up, and Charlie, I think he's like 6 or 7 years old in the movie, tells his parents what happened. And Laura's like, never came around it. And Charlie, 100% full out, becomes obsessed with Santa Claus. Becoming like him, jumping up and down on his bed, pretending to be reindeer and all that stuff. Pretending to be Santa Claus. Oh my God. God forbid. Can't have an imagination, right, Mama? Got here, right? So, now Charlie also told school about it. Nobody believed him in school because, he's around the age where kids stop believing in Santa. So Scott's like, yo, Charlie, $5, let's keep this shit a secret. I'm not Santa. I mean, I am Santa, but let's not tell anybody else I'm Santa. So, this is the part where I was like, it doesn't really give you a clear timeline of stuff. We see Scott come back to work, and he's fatter now. And he announces, when he finally goes to the doctor, he's like, I've gained 45 pounds in a week. He shaves in the morning, and then, he got full beard by the end of the day. Or in the afternoon, all gray hair. He's all fat and stuff, too. He's like, he's getting, like I said, he's getting like 45 pounds in a week. And the doctor's like, what's your diet like? Milk and cookies? Lay off the sweets. And then what was funny is when he was taking his heart beat, the thingy, the stethoscope or whatever it's called. I'm not sure what it's called. But he was using a little heart monitor thingy to like test this thing, or like necklace wearing thingies. And his heart was playing Jingle Bells. So, again, further down the road, we don't know how much longer, Scott's watching Charlie play a soccer game. Nothing wrong with that. But a kid starts lining up, just ask him for stuff. The kids already know Santa right off rip. Doesn't have to look like Santa yet, but he's Santa Claus. So, Laura and Neil come, to watch Charlie play soccer too. And what happens? They take Charlie right away. They're like, no. You're looking too much like Santa. This is unhealthy. Call me, says Neil, the psychologist. They're trying to explain to Charlie, it's physically impossible for Santa to deliver toys all over the night to the millions of kids in the world, all over the world. And Charlie's like, it's got something to do with the time-space continuum breaking down when you enter Santa's sleigh. I like that, I did. The kid actor who plays Charlie is fucking great. Let's just admit that, right off rip. So unfortunately, they tried to take Scott's visitation rights away from him, which the doctor ends up granting. So Scott's no longer allowed to visit Charlie. He does anyways. He goes the same night on Thanksgiving. Just say goodbye to Charlie. And ends up kidnapping him. Yeah. You got that right. Santa Claus kidnapped his kid. Brought him to the North Pole with him. Worried the hell out of his mom and Neil for like a month straight. They had police searching everywhere. Christmas Eve, they had the police stake out Neil and Laura's house. They bust Santa, arrest Santa. Santa's elves bust Santa out along with Charlie. They come through the front door, back to the Neil and Laura's house. And the cops finally realize he's missing like 20 minutes later, finally storm the house. After everything's all resolved. Laura and Neil both finally believe that Scott is indeed Santa Claus. And happily ever after, pretty much. She burns the injunction order against Scott. Says she wants him to see Santa whenever, or Charlie whenever he can. Yada yada. Neil believes him finally, and becomes a lot less of a dick. Now the reason why the mom stopped believing was she didn't get a board game as a kid, mystery date. Okay, and Neil was 3 because he didn't get an Oscar Mayer weaning whistle. So that stopped him from believing in Santa at 3 years old. Poor guy. And of course, God gives them both the shit that they wanted when they stopped believing. End of the movie for the most part, though. Great movie. If you got Disney Plus, watch it on Disney Plus. Great Christmas movie. So, I love it. I give it a 9.5 out of 10. So, go ahead and watch it this holiday season. And vote on my next poll. Daves-Raves out. See you in the next one.